are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only...
Word.
Definitely.
I want to get into this real quick, and
Yes,
that's
sir.
Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon obviously was on social media saluting Nipsey Hussle, as a lot of people were out here on social media. But he had this to say in regards to the Dr. Sebi documentary that a lot of people were jumping and talking about. And it's crazy because we talked about this a month ago, a month or so ago, about the documentary and things like that. And we may not have got too conspiracy theory there. I don't remember even the conversation in this context, but we talked about it. I'm sure we got into it in great detail. The numbers went insane yesterday. So it must have picked up and people were just jumping on this Dr. Sebi conversation. And obviously it jumped to social media, and Nick Cannon said, where you left off, we going to carry on. It's a marathon, so I'm picking up the baton because they can't kill us all. Spiritual warfare is real and in full effect. And now your spirit is protecting your community internally. Your words, your steps, your walk always was and always will be solid now. Your message is my message. Your work is my work. That's in regards to the Dr. Sebi documentary. It looks like Nick Cannon will pick up where Nipsey left off and continue the documentary. But you see a lot of people speculating on Nipsey's death, especially early on when it initially happened, and kind of throwing it in the same regards to Dr. Sebi.
Well, that's because he said, Nipsey actually said, you know what I'm saying, if they kill me over this documentary, you better ride, you know what I mean, for me, because he's seen a correlation. He obviously thought that Dr. Sebi was killed for what he knew. People talk about, you know what I'm saying, Left Eye, you know, possibly being killed. And you made a good point. And, you know, and people got to do their research, you know, and look at the Dr. Sebi case. But all he was really pretty much at the end of the day, and you're into this, you know what I mean, heavy, the plant-based, you know, foods and stuff like that, eating healthier and things like that. Obviously, you know, those type of things are going to cure a lot of shit. You mean, so you can tell people it's going to keep you from getting stuff, but it also can cure you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? From stuff. So he was just dealing with natural things. You know, I don't know. I don't know if Nipsey was killed because of that. I don't know if Dr. Sebi was killed. Yeah, it's a lot of sketchy things around. You know, the situation with Dr. Sebi, Nipsey, we see what's going on. Even the whole Left Eye situation was very crazy. But I don't really know how deep this goes. I wouldn't put it past anybody for this to happen, because let's not act like, you know, that hasn't been. People don't even know about the Martin Luther King, that the government was already been proven to kill Martin Luther King. Just look it up. Guy named, I think, Gary Webb, Dark Alliance, I think is the name of the book. So it's just like, I just want to respect the family at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that Nick Cannon's picking this up and still doing this. I think that the Dr. Sebi story needs to be brought more mainstream so people can actually see and learn, like you said, to tell people the benefits of eating a plant-based diet. I think is, you know, phenomenal.
It's very important. It's very important. It changed my life, and I hope that it changed a lot of people. Not Dr. Sebi in particular. He didn't change my life because I don't know a lot about him, but I do. I'm very into health. I'm very into fitness, and I went vegan and I went plant-based a couple years back. And as my graduation and evolution occurred, I'm 100% damn near plant-based. I'm probably 97% where I don't eat anything processed. It's all from the ground and from the earth. And I'm looking at the effects that it's taken on me. I'm looking at the benefits that I'm coming from, where I used to have to drink that cup of coffee every day, have to do certain things for me to feel like I had to go about my day. And now that I'm eating the fruit and understanding how to digest fruit and do certain things, and then when to eat the greens and how to get your irons and B12s, and I'm really diving in and learning about these things. And then my palate is starting to graduate to where I'm starting to enjoy the food, because we get so disconnected from food because of the different chemicals that our palate doesn't understand what real food's supposed to taste like. So it's obviously we're gonna reject that and go back to the chemicals and shit that we yearn for, that we are addicted to. Once you start getting rid of that and your palate starts getting used to these things, you start to begin to enjoy them. And the stigmas of the vegan diet, not being able to eat anything and things like that, they start going away, because everything that you want is sitting in your produce, your fruits and your vegetables. And that's what people have to get from this Dr. Sebi documentary. Let's get some understanding on why it's important for certain things to be in your body, because we don't understand the amazing machine that we have under us called our body that's free circulates every so month, year, 2 years. And we can really turn things around in ourselves if we become disciplined. But a lot of people don't want to be disciplined and they want to jump to speculation. And we know how we are. I love us, but we fucking are easy to call somebody a scammer or this or that without doing proper research and doing proper work into it. And if you don't even think about the cures or the cases or anything, look at his blueprint, take it for what you will, follow it, and it will change you. I promise you that. I
think that's sound advice, man, because I think a lot of people, you know, are going to be surprised with some of the stuff, you know, both positive, I think, and negative from looking at that, you know, whole thing. I think that when you look at like social media in particular, like Instagram, you like see like the memes, and they'll have like Dr. Sebi, they'll have Nipsey, and they'll have Left Eye and say, oh, these people were killed because they, and it doesn't mean that it's always necessarily true, but obviously we know the benefits of a plant-based diet, I think, is the most important aspect. What would Dr. Sebi, I think, was teaching? Period.
Yeah. And that information is out here for anybody to grab. Anybody could have did this documentary, with all due respect to Nipsey Hussle's documentary that he's going and Nick Cannon is grabbing and moving on with. I'm sure it's going to be exceptional, but he's not doing any work any different than anybody else could have did. So the conspiracy behind him passing or being executed because of this documentary in particular, in my opinion, to all respects to the family, is a little far-fetched. I would say this. All the cameras in fucking LA, if they didn't have a man in a couple of days, okay, you might have me a little closer. But they're gonna have this dude, man. It's the cameras, it's too many fucking cameras.
Right. So with that being said, man, once again, pay our respects to the family of Nipsey Hussle. They may come across this video, they may watch it. You know, who knows? You never know who watches your material. Fact. You know what I mean? Condolences, you know, to you. It's a sad, you know, situation here. Definitely. So, you know, if there's any more developments, obviously you already know, check with any one of our channels and we're going to drop it, you know what I mean? And definitely talk about it. We're definitely on top, you know what I mean? And this, I'm going to move over to this story right here.
That shot him may have quote unquote been gang affiliated, but let's keep this perspective in mind. Nipsey Hussle was way more than a quote unquote gangster. Let's stop throwing him in this realm that this was supposed to happen or this was the life that you live when you live this life, because that's the narrative that's going to be steered in the mainstream media once they get a hold of this. And let's have some proper perspective when it comes to that. Yeah, Nipsey Hussle did what he had to do when he was young in the environment that he had to live in. Nobody's justifying it. Nobody's saying this. It's the life he had to live. He grew out of it, and look where he came out of it. Let's look at the man now, and let's not look at where he was, because a lot of people, once we point fingers, can have a lot of skeletons in their closet. We could be critical of all of them. Look at where our president is. So let's not do that. But we got to understand that, yes, this was a hater who may have had a color on, whether it been one or another. But let's stop throwing that gang stigma out there, because even though it's just bad, it looks bad, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm seeing a lot of things come up, you know, on my screen, you know, as we speak about the Nipsey. Things are coming out, you know, pretty much every hour, you know, at this point, probably every minute right now. So, you know, stay tuned for that. But yeah, man, it's a sad situation. You know, everybody's talking about, you know, the tweet that he put out, you know, and I'll pull it up right here. It says, having strong enemies is a blessing. And obviously, I mean, he put that in the circumstance, and now the tweet now gets, and that's, you know, in scrutiny right now. Do you think that Nipsey, now that they're saying that, you know, the dispute was personal in nature, did he have an issue maybe with somebody and somebody was looking to get payback or revenge? Do you think that could be possibly the case here?
It could. I mean, nobody knows. It could very well be. Like I said, no one knows. You have to keep all hypotheses out there right now open for speculation, because until we get further evidence, and we should be getting all the evidence, because LA is loaded with cameras, and there's a camera on every block. There's a camera in that development. So I'm sure the LAPD has all of it laid out right now.
Well, I'm going to actually talk about this development right here. It says, this is by way of the source.com, says the LAPD reportedly have a suspect in the Nipsey Hussle murder. Now it says the New York Daily News reveals they have spoken with a source close to the LAPD homicide detectives who stated they have a suspect in the shooting, and the person is someone who Nipsey knew. They say the motive is stated to be a deal going wrong between the two, but unfortunately may be classified as gang related due to the affiliation of Nipsey Hussle. Now the report also details the murder does not seem to be an act of a rival gang, and we know Nipsey was scheduled to actually meet with the LAPD, I think, commissioner, you know, to talk about how they can kind of cease gang violence You know what I mean? So obviously he wasn't banging like that no more. We know he kind of moved on from that and, you know, was kind of trying to get back to the positive aspects of what the gangs originally started for. But yeah, so what do you think about this report coming out by way of the source.com? Apparently they have a suspect close to catching.
Well, that makes sense, and they should, and that's a good sign because, like I was saying, they got cameras everywhere, and they should have been able to get. Apparently, he shot 3 men. He shot Nipsey Hussle 6 times, then fled on foot, jumped in a car, dipped off, and apparently it was a girl driving. All of that shit's on camera, even for where the car was going, driving, every stoplight, all that. They all got it. Facts. Got cameras, so you've seen it. We knew this should happen quickly, and if it didn't happen quickly, there was more to this story that. Now we could dive into some conspiracy, but nonetheless, we knew that within the next 24 to 48 hours, they were going to have whoever did this, the suspect at hand. Right. The fact that he knew him does not surprise me at all because, like I said, Nipsey Hussle was in a very comfortable situation. He was in a comfortable space where if a threat was imminent, he would have been able to see it 10 miles away. Whoever would have been able to see it 10 miles away. You see people giving narrative and testimony to Nipsey Hussle and what he's done for the people out there to clean up the drugs, to clean up the robberies, to clean up the violence because of various jobs and establishments, businesses that he's opening up and providing for the economy out there and giving people a second chance. So he's respected. So no one's going to be able to run up on him and do that unless he was somebody that he knew. Right. And jealous, disgust. Now, when you say a business deal going wrong, you got to also keep in mind, although they may keep it gang affiliated, and that's very disgusting. If he does go back to his neighborhood, they're very well going to be people that still do the same thing he did. So yeah, okay. Well, is it too far-fetched to think that somebody else might have had the same colors as him, but not have done the same thing? But you can easily throw them in this box because they did it when they were children. Like, we got to get off of that. They throwing gang around.
I mean, the thing is, you know, they do, but you see, the thing is like, yo, we got the self-hate, man, in the black community, man, is at an all-time high. For people to be killing each other like this, man, just to get back to that, like, even if it was. Like, does he got to go kill somebody? No. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, there's other, you know, ways to go about it. So there's a lot of things that need to be addressed in this situation. Obviously, it's just, you know, I'm sure somebody got killed in LA. More people got killed in LA. People got killed here, there, and everywhere. But we were talking about this right now. But to me, it's something that's going to continue, you know, to happen until conditions, you know, change. You know, it just is what it is with that thing.
What
man.
Conditions do we see change? Because like you were saying in the pre-production, it's cool to say the rest in peace and we got to stop the violence and stuff. But when are the cliches going to stop and some action are going to happen? And
well, Nipsey was a guy who was starting, you know what I mean? That, and it's unfortunate that he became a victim in that. He was a guy who, you know, came from these, you know, type of extremities, you know what I mean? In the ghettos and whatnot, drug dealing, robbing, you know, joined up with a gang and whatnot, probably put in work and all that. Turned his life around and said, look, man, not only am I going to, you know, do this thing in music, but I'm going to turn around and do it in the marijuana business. I'm going to turn around and do it in real estate. I'm going to become an all around mogul at what I do. And me doing that is just going to, you know, inspire more brothers to do that. Just the way he can inspire them negatively with his rag, talking all that gang shit. He turned it around to influence them positively. And that's what it's going to take. You know what I mean? People like me and you seeing Nipsey and trying to do that where we're at, and more brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, doing that, because it's easy to follow the negative stuff. You know what I mean? How many people we grew up with that probably in prison or dead right now just doing negative stuff. So, you know, that's what I take from this whole, you know, situation. It's not going to be easy. You know, we got a whole history of a whole bunch of things. People are going through a whole bunch of things, but I think if each person just that watches this takes it upon themselves to try to do better, and that's all I can say, man. I ain't got all the answers, really, man.
Oh God, I want to take this perspective, because we were talking about this over in the pre-production meeting, man. And as we were sitting back and doing our thing and just thinking, I was like, yo, man, is this the generations Biggie into?
Blank City niggas gamble with your life. Hopping out the Lex, I felt like Malcolm X. Marching with the shooters like Martin Luther. 40 cal SK or the fucking Ruger. Don't ever question if I got the heart to shoot you.
When will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horror of police.
They say Machine only rap about how he got shot and how he shoot niggas. That's because I got shot.